Happy Sunday. I think we're live in the right spot. Yeah, we are. I hope you are having a good Sunday. I will let Facebook know, let Facebook let you know that I've gone live before we get started. I am going live for Sunday stamping a little earlier than I normally would, and that's just the nature of the current holiday season and things that are going on. So I hope you can tune in live, and if not, I hope you can watch on the replay. So let me know what you're up to this weekend. Did you get all your Christmas shopping done? I think I'm done. I think I knocked the last of it off today. I ran a couple of errands, and I think everything is done from that perspective. I have a lot of wrapping to do still and some baking. So as I am baking, I'm hoping I'll remember I'm going to take some pictures of what I'm baking and let you see what I'm up to. So let me know what your favorite recipe is for holiday baking. Have you started baking? I feel I feel like with only a week left for Christmas, if I don't start now or finish now, it's not going to get done. So let me know what you're baking this year, if anything. So we will get started. So again, thank you for joining Sunday Stamping. My name is Jenna Moore. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, Canada. And every Sunday I go live, usually at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Today it's earlier. But every week I show you projects that I'm working on, projects I'm working on, products that I'm using, as well as some different techniques. So this week, not only were there many packages dropped off at my door for Christmas, but I also received this month's Paper Pumpkin kit. So I'm going to show you some of the cards that I've made so far with that kit. I think it's a really fun one, and so I want to share that with you. So before we get started, I'm just going to switch my view here, and I'm going to take a sip of water. I did want to let you know that part of the many boxes that were on my porch this week were the new January to June 2022 catalogs. So I do have these. They'll be ready to go this week. So if you are interested in picking up a catalog from me, please drop a comment below or send me a message to let me know you'd like to do that. If you live in Canada and you do not have a demonstrator, I would be happy to send you a catalog. You just need to send me your mailing address. You can reach my email address by visiting my blog at jennascraftingstudio.com. And in January, starting on the 4th, we will also have another celebration. This is our annual, it's now semi-annually? I don't know what you call it, semi-annually. That's what you call that. We have celebration twice a year, and so this brochure is chock full of free product that you can earn with a qualifying order starting January 4th. So I do have those. I also have a couple of events scheduled for January. They are actually posted on my Stampin' Up! Website. So jennascraftingstudio.stampinup.net. Under the events tab, there are events posted. You can also reach my online store by visiting my blog. So those are up and ready to go. So let's get into the crafting. So this is this month's Paper Pumpkin. So when you sign up by the 10th of the month for Paper Pumpkin, you will receive that month's kit. This month it's called Lots of Pun. And I'm finding it really cute. I wasn't sure what the graphics would look like. We always get a sneak peek, and I wasn't sure how much I would like it, but as I keep creating, I think it's really cute, something different. So I'm going to show you the contents, and then I'm going to show you some of the cards that I've worked on so far. So these are the 3 designs of cards in this kit, and it makes 9 cards in total, 3 of each design. And so every month in your Paper Pumpkin subscription box, you receive a set of instructions. They're full color. They show you how to make the projects as intended on the front of the page here. Then on the back, when you flip it over, you get a visual of everything that's in your kit. You do get the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors so that you know if you have additional products in your craft stuff you could pull out. So for instance, if you have been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for a few months and you have multiple of the ink spots, you would be able to pull the coordinating colors from other inks that you have received, assuming that they do coordinate, and you could use multiple colors instead of just the color that comes in the kit. You also get a couple of alternative, I'm going to move this out of the way so that this will focus. You get a few alternative ideas, so I'm actually going to show you a couple of these today. I saw this one. I don't know, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to show you this card anyways. Anyways, once I saw this, I thought, yes, I want to do that. So I've done one of these cards. You get all the social media information here, and there is a video. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Pardon me. There is a video that will be posted on YouTube. It usually comes the week after the Paper Pumpkin is released, and it shows you in a video how to put the Paper Pumpkin kit together. So in this kit, you do get a ink spot. This month is Early Espresso, which is our darkest brown. Then you get an exclusive stamp set. So this is a stamp set that's not available in any of our catalogs. It has a bunch of fun greetings here, and they all have a little bit of a pun to them. So you can see thanks a bunch to go with the bananas, and so they sort of all go with the images in this stamp set. I've stamped them all here in Early Espresso just so you can see. And as well as the images, you also get these fun facial features that you can stamp on the different pieces, so that's kind of fun. I can show you what those look like. You also get all of the adhesives that you need. Now, mind you, you can pull in whatever adhesives are your favorite, but you get a sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals, a sheet of glue dots, and then the embellishment this month is linen thread, which is a great neutral embellishment to have in your craft stash. So I have a bunch of linen thread I'm actually going to pull in to work with today. Put that aside. And then we have all our fun elements. So actually this is another one of the embellishments for this month. They are little like an enamel dots, I would say, in the Daffodil Delight Pool Party, and then hearts in the Poppy Parade color. We have our die cut shape. So there's the fun fruits, the egg, and the toast. This I've already stamped on. So you get a couple of sheets of those. You get these fun elements with the hello die cut and a couple of just little embellishment die cuts. We have all of your die cutting for the sentiments here and as well as here. There's some vellum in circles and strips that you can use, and then we have our envelopes, which are really fun because they're all lined with fun designs on the insides there. So there's 9 envelopes. I've cut one up already, and I'll show you that. And then we have our card bases. So you really have everything in this kit that you need to put 9 cards together, and plus you will have extra pieces that you can use on other cards. So I like these because they have sort of the watercolor feature on them, on 2 of them, and then this other one has this fun grid look here. So let me show you what I've created, and then I'll show you how I put 2 of them together. So I did a couple pretty much how the instructions intended. So I started with this one, and it's got the banana on it. I used the little face and the glasses to give him a cute smile. I used the hello die cut. I've got a piece of vellum, and then I've layered some of the strips in the different colors and a bit of this linen thread. I did use one of the stamps to do a background on here. So this is pretty similar to the way that this one is intended to work. I just put sort of my own flair on it. Then I did this one, which is also, again, pretty close to the instructions, using the die cut elements. And instead of whatever they suggested on here, they used "I'm sorry, that's the pits," which is that's funny saying to me. I used "You Are Cherry Sweet" because I felt like I could use that for more occasions. And then in terms of alternatives, I'll show you the two that I did on the back here. So this first one here with the bananas, I did pretty close to what they have, except I've used one of the bases. So in this alternative here, they're using Pool Party cardstock. But I really like this card base, and so I decided to use that with the same elements that they're showing here. And the sentiment that says "Thanks a bunch." And you could use this stamp if you wanted to cut out the bananas and then color them in, but I used just the die cut shapes for that one. And then this is the one with the toast that I thought was super fun. Now, if you know Stampin' Up! Products, you can see from the picture that they've used the stitch rectangles, so I knew to pull those out. Having said that, if you don't have the stitch rectangles, you could just cut the piece of basic white. I've mounted that on a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock. And then to do the yay, we are using the Playful Alphabet dies, which if you don't have these dies in your craft stash, you will want to get them because they have letters and numbers, which you could use for a variety of different cards, specifically if you're using sort of milestone birthdays. For instance, my parents celebrated their 50th anniversary this year, and so I used these dies to create their card. But you can also use them for scrapbooking, memory keeping, that kind of thing. I did stamp in Memento Black, so I did bring in a different color of ink. I drew the little legs and feet with my basic black Stampin' Write marker, and I colored him in with Stampin' Blends in Crumb Cake. So I thought that was super cute. And this background here is actually one of the envelope liners. I just ripped it apart and cut it down so that it would fit on the front of my card. So those are the two alternatives I've done using the instructions. And then I have a couple of other cards that are alternatives, but my own spin on things. So this first one here we're going to work on is my take on this card here, because I just wanted to sort of switch it up a bit. So I've pulled in a couple of different elements. This card uses all of the elements that are in the kit, so you don't need anything extra to put this card together. And then I will show you the other card afterwards. So this card here, I'm pulling in this card base. So it's Pool Party and then Daffodil Delight in the grid pattern here. I'm going to fold that on the score line, and all of your card bases are pre-scored, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to have to flip through here for my elements. So we have, I'm going to use these embellishments and a piece of the vellum. So this die cut vellum is really nice because it makes it nice and easy. I'm going to pull in some of the die cut images here. So I'm actually going to pull out the egg that I've already stamped for the sake of time. And then I'm going to pull out two of the pieces of bread to make them into toast. And then I'm going to grab one of these early espresso borders. This kit really has a lot of different die cut pieces, which is fun to work with. And like I said, depending on how you put your cards together, you would have extra pieces for additional cards once you're done. I'm going to pull out these banners here so I can do my stamping. So the stamp that I've chosen for this card says "A toast to your success." And if I can find that here it is. There are lots of different sentiments in this stamp set, so if you didn't like that one, there's other ones like "Excited for your day," that would work with the eggs, or "Have an excellent day." "You tell the best yolks." that one's kind of funny too. So there's lots of different options if you wanted to switch them out for different occasions. So I've got that mounted on my D block. When you first subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you do receive a stamp block in your kit, so make sure you hold on to that because you will want it for your future kits. And because I own all of the ink colors, instead of using my ink spot, I am going to pull out my full ink pad. I'm going to stamp that up. And then I'm going to use one of these pool party banners to stamp. I'll pop that out. So with Paper Pumpkin, you don't need to have a die cutting machine or anything. Everything is pre-cut for you, which is really nice. And then I'm going to stamp my pieces of toast. So this outline stamp here with the bread is what I'm going to use. And you don't have to do this step, but it gives a nice, just gives a nice detail to that. Oh, I didn't quite match that up, but that's okay. Just going to clean that off, and then I'm going to grab one of the faces. So depending on what look you're going for, this one I just did the smiley face. So there's two different smiley faces and a sad face, depending on, I guess, what the occasion is for your card. So these are just really cute little faces. You could use these on other projects too. Little faces. And I'll close that up so I don't stick my hand in. So there we go. And now we're going to put it all together. So with the adhesives that come with the kit, that would be everything that you need to create the card. I actually prefer using my own adhesives. I mean, Stampin' Dimensionals is no problem. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to use this cute little background stamp that's got the dots on it, and I'm just going to create some splatter. And this is really the purpose of this stamp. It has no other purpose than to be a background stamp. So I've got a couple there. And now my vellum I'm going to put down, sort of in the middle. And then I'm going to put everything together. So this piece here is like a, do you call that a word bubble? I think that's what it's called. So I'm going to put my sentiment, I'm going to glue it inside the word bubble. And then I'm going to take this Early Espresso banner just to add some color to this banner. Just going to glue them together. And you can use the glue dots that are included in the kit. You could use other adhesives you have. I feel like I didn't put enough adhesive on this, so let's try this again. These borders are really small, so I'm trying not to get glue all over the place. Okay, and then I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to pop this up on my card. Just need really two. You can play around with where you're going to put the elements on your card. Just need one on the piece of toast, and I'm just going to angle them here, and my egg, and another piece of toast. So this kit would give you 9 cards to start the new year off by sending some fun, encouraging cards to people you know. Sort of one of my New Year's resolutions is always to send out more cards every year, and I don't know if I did better on that this year than I have previously. Yesterday I mailed out the last of my Christmas cards, so to those, if any of you receive cards after Christmas, I do apologize. They got in the mailbox. Now it's all up to the mailman. It's out of my hands. Okay, so I'm using my Take a Pick tool here just to pick up some of these elements. So I love these little Poppy Parade hearts. They're pretty cute. And then I'm going to pick up some of these other elements and just put them on the background, kind of mingled in with these other splatters that I've done. And then if you wanted to, you could take some of the linen thread and add to it, but I think that's, those, the gems add quite a bit of color to the card, so I like that one. So that one uses no extra supplies. That's just, I've just changed the layout of this card more to my liking. So that's the first card. And then the second one, I did pull in extra elements. I kind of did a twist on one of the cards that was featured. And so the extra pieces I pulled in are the cardstock for the card. So I have a piece of thick basic white, which is cut in a standard card base size. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to fold that on the score line. And then I have a piece of Poppy Parade, which is one of the coordinating colors listed on the back of the instructions. And this one measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And what I want to do with this piece of cardstock is to do a background stamping. So for this card, I thought it would be fun if we use the cherry stamp. And I am going to use Poppy Parade ink so that it's a subtle background. If you only had the early espresso, you could definitely do that as your background. So I'm going to stamp the cherry in Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to randomly stamp on the piece of Poppy Parade. It's just a background piece, so it doesn't really matter how many times or what it looks like. And as I'm cleaning off my stamp here, I apologize, I'm shaking the whole table. And then I'm going to come back with that background stamp that has the dots, and again in Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to fill in sort of the blank spots. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can zoom in. So that's just a fun background effect. You can do this with any of the stamps that you have, just to take the images and create a background. Again, not using any sort of punches or machines on this card. I'm just pulling in some extra cardstock and then the elements from the card. So on this card, I pulled one of the die cut shapes. So there are these squares with the middle punched out. So I'm gonna save this piece. Don't throw any of your pieces away because you can use those on other cards. So I'm gonna pull out the square, and that's going to be there. And then I also want one of the vellum circles, if I can find here. So I'm gonna use the smaller one because I want it to go in behind. Now I have used all of these striped die cut pieces in the kit, so I'm going to choose something else. I'm actually going to see, I'm going to pull in one of the envelopes. So this is the one that I cut up previously for a card, and I'm just going to grab my trimmer and I'm going to cut down the envelope. So again, don't throw out any of your pieces because you can use them. I'm going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch, no, 1/2 inch, yeah, 1/2 inch, and then let's say 3.5 inches, so 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches, and I'm going to get rid of my trimmer, so I'm going to use that piece over instead of the striped. And then again with the pool party banners, and I'm choosing a different sentiment, which is going to be You Are Cherry Sweet, because I really like that one. For the cherries, there's also I Pick You, I'm Sorry That's the Pits. So again, lots of options if you wanted to choose something else. And I'm going to use the early espresso. Paper Pumpkin, again, is a subscription box, so it comes out every month. You can buy prepaid subscription codes, so this would be a great gift for somebody if they're a crafter, or you know, they're into crafts, that kind of thing, this is a great gift if you're still looking for something for somebody for Christmas or even for a birthday. This is a fun idea, something that you don't have to have a lot of supplies for, again, because all the supplies come in the box, but something fun that somebody can look forward to every month, and sort of stalk the post person to see if their subscription is coming. Okay, so I'm using Stampin' Seal. I'm going to mount this background on the piece of white cardstock. There we go. And then I'm going to put down the vellum next, and I just want, this is where the glue dots I always use glue dots on vellum, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to put a bit of white glue around. The thing with vellum is you have to make sure that your adhesive is hidden, because it does show, as you can see, in behind. I'm going to take the frame and put some Stampin' Dimensionals on there, just one in every corner. Peel the backing off. And then, yep, I've used too much adhesive, so hopefully that will dry a bit, and then you won't be able to see it. Okay, and now I'm going to glue my sentiments together. So I'm putting my banner with a greeting on it on top of the paper that I've cut from the envelope. And then put some white glue and a dimensional. I'm just going to glue this right at the top of the frame. Now we want one of those die cut cherries. Now you could stamp on here with a face or the outline of the cherry. I just have left mine the way it is. But I did use a piece of linen thread and tied a bow around the top here where the leaf is. So this piece of linen thread, I'm just going to tie a bow around there. Here we go. And it's always tricky to tie a bow while you're on camera. There we go. And trim off some of that end here. So it's just a bit long. And then I'm going to use some of the Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm actually going to take one and cut it in half. Just so that I don't have too big of dimensionals on the back of here. So I've put a half on each of the cherries, and then I'm going to put that in the middle. So there we go. And then the last thing I want to do for this card is to put on some of these enamel dots. So I want a heart up at the top here, and then a couple of these dots just on the frame. And there we go. So here's a couple of alternatives for you if you've received this month's paper pumpkin. Just some different ideas that you can create with most products coming from the kit itself, and then with some extra cardstock and maybe some dies if you have them, or just additional cardstock. If you have any questions about any of the products that I've used in tonight's projects, please send me a message and let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you see all my future videos. This is the very last Sunday before Christmas, and so I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. I will not be going live next Sunday, which is Boxing Day. I will be going live later that week. So I wish you and your families all the very best. Please stay safe and enjoy, and I will see you next time for some more Sunday stamping, and hope that you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.